Joe Zekas from YoChicago.com. I'm in the showy showroom of Brook Furniture Rental on LaSalle and Wacker, and I'm with Amanda Eirich from Brook Furniture Rental and Sue Carey from Century 21 Kreuser Seiler.
So can you tell me a little bit about the current state of the housing market?
It is fluctuating. It's different. It's very local. It continues to be local. But there is some definite change in activity. And in fact, the Illinois Association of Realtors has just reported that home sales have increased 18% year over year. What has really changed, though, is the buyer and the seller. But because we're here at Brook Furniture Rental, I'd really like to talk about the destination and what we're seeing on the inbound here into Chicago. The buyers have changed in that, again, corporate America, which is really the source of much of the business we're discussing, there are certain benefits that transferees have had on the departure side. Guarantees that if they can't sell their home, they have some backup plans and things of that nature. And in many markets, it doesn't matter whether you've got that backup plan or not. What has really changed is the value of that property and how recently that transferee made their last move. So many of the transferees, if they're in the sales industry, for instance, maybe they move every 3 or 4 years. Well, if you purchased a home 4 years ago, now you're sitting on a property that isn't worth what it was 4 years ago, and you've got either an equity loss or an assumed appreciation loss, or perhaps both. So we have people that are coming to Chicago and all over the country where they don't have the kind of money to invest in real estate as they did before. Two things have really happened with that. The good news is that the mortgage rates are so low, there are still plenty of mortgage opportunities so somebody can make a purchase. But in many cases, transferees sometimes will want to wait out the market in their old location, which causes them to rent in the new one. So they might put their old home in property management, and they might come to Chicago deciding to rent instead of purchase. Or it could be that they're going to rent for 6 months while they really get to know the area because they're just a little nervous about their last investment. And they want to make sure that whatever investment they make this time, that they're happy with the location, they're happy with the investment, they get to know it a little bit. So sometimes that 3 to 6 month rental property is what they're looking for first. And consequently, because a lot of the market is doing that, our rental occupancy rates, not just from our corporate transferees, but really people in general, the occupancy rates are very, very high. And within the downtown Chicago market area, I know that they reported at least at the end of the first quarter, I think the report came out in May, that rental rates are up 9% year over year. In the suburbs, we're up about 4 or 5% year over year. So not only are the rates going up, but in addition to that, we have something like a 94-95% occupancy. Where Brook Furniture and your company has really been of help to myself and other relocation directors is that it gives us the opportunity where if we can't use a corporate housing partner who has been very supportive in this marketplace for us, and there are many within the Chicago market, if we can't use a corporate housing apartment, then what we are taking is an apartment that maybe a private owner owns, or a single family home that a private owner owns, and now we're bringing in your company, Brook Furniture, to come and help us stage that property so that it's turnkey for the family. They have another home in another location, they're just not ready to sell, and they're making that move and they've got to make it quickly. And so when you come in and you get all the furniture in there and the kitchen's up and running and the beds are made, it makes me look like a champ, and it gets the family relocated very quickly.
I was in a nearly $3 million home in the Gold Coast recently that was rented by a high-level executive, and it had rental furniture in it also for a 2-year period.
Absolutely. And so that could either be it could be an international move, so that person may have their main residence overseas and you don't typically make a home purchase decision, or it could be exactly what I just referenced, where they're not going to sell the other property. They had a lot more value in it at some point, and either at the end of that career development move, they're going to move back to that particular location, or they just desire to wait it out. But really about, I would say over the past few years, about 40% of our destination market has been those looking for rentals, and now it's increased to probably 60 or 70% of our incoming transferees are actually looking to rent first. Not necessarily long-term, as you referenced, the 2-year. We do get some of that, particularly with the global moves. But a lot of need for a 3-month rental, a 6-month rental. That I have every day, and I have a lot of it. And we're very hard pressed to find properties for them to be in. So to be able to build it when the corporate housing companies don't have the supply, for me to be able to build that by using rented furniture is just ideal.